We're building a monster French drain system with a roof runoff system inside the French drain. We want to make the most of the homeowner's dollars. We're taking a trench that's going to have 4 pipes. It's going to be a quad pack towards the end. Right here, it's a tri-pack. We're picking up the roof runoff in a solid pipe on top of 2 perforated pipes. We're going to run that down to a city storm drain. This is really long. I think it's 160 feet from the backyard to the street. And then we have branch lines coming off the main trunk line. We're going to show you how to make every single connection. We're going to point out all the different couplers, all the different components. We're going to teach you guys every single detail and aspect to building a really good French drain with a roof runoff system combined. Stay tuned.
How you doing? I'm Derek from French Drain Man. I'm the project liaison. I come out with the crew, work with the crew, make sure they got all the supplies they need. But basically how things start, Aaron sells the job. He sends us all videos. We watch them the night before. In the morning, we come in and we talk as a crew. Hey, is this the best option? Should we do this? Should we do that? We grab all our supplies in the morning. We come out to the job site. I knock on the door, introduce our crew leader, Francisco. That's when we go over with the customer. If they have any other questions they want to go over, maybe they had a question they didn't get a chance to ask Aaron, they'll ask myself or our crew leader. We'll walk the customer through the job. The crew will start the job and we'll start our day. And here we are starting off our French drain down in Bloomfield here.
Whenever you're on a job site, you want to look where the laser level's at. I'm standing here watching my guys trying to explain things in a video, and we have a gentleman behind the camera. We got to make sure that we don't block the transmitter and receiver for our laser level. We always want to put the laser level where the guys can get a reading from the backyard and down the side of the house. You can't put that laser level on the opposite side of the yard or you'll have to relocate it. You don't want to have to do that. It's easier to set it up once and be able to work with that from all areas of the job site. So these are pros making pro moves. You can see we're getting deep. Over here, the yard's real low. You can tell we're in a drought. Everything's dry. Over here, you can see how the grass is very vibrant and green. Well, it's because it's so low. That's where all the water hangs out. It gets stuck right there. We started really shallow, and you can see we're getting really deep. We're basically digging through a hill, if you will. You can't see it because it's subtle, but we are. That's how we're going to get the water out of here. The water's been trapped here pretty much forever, and this is a beautiful older home. It's never been fixed. It's never been fixed right. Another thing I want to show you is all the mistakes that are made. These are common mistakes. I see them all the time, repeatedly. So they'll use these gutter downspout extensions. They're basically garbage, okay? They're trash. They're trash when they're brand new. Don't get caught up in this box store, big box store, cheap material. So this is really cheap. It's made in China. The sun dries this out and it cracks. It doesn't get the water far enough away and it always gets knocked off. So people hook these up and then if they think they need another one, they'll hook another one up. Garbage. They leak here. They leak here. And then this does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Water will, through capillary action, get wicked to your foundation. You want to get minimum 15 feet away, minimum. And we always shoot for 20 plus. We want to see 20. If we can get it, we want it. If it's there, we're going to take it. 20 plus. But 15 is the absolute minimum. This here, this is a really big mistake. Now, remember when I was telling you about how this stuff is cheap? How good is that working? Look at the holes. Even for the 5 feet, 6 feet that they're getting the water away, it's leaking everywhere. This stuff's garbage. It's made in China, guys. It's super thin. Look, the box stores don't want quality. I've sat down and talked to people from box stores to try to get French Drain Man's product in box stores so that it's readily available for DIYers. Unfortunately, that's not what they want. They do not want quality. They want something that they're going to pay $3 for that they can sell for $10. That is the story of box stores right there. So let's keep going. Let's show you some other mistakes. We got another mistake over here. This one drives me nuts. The wrong pipe for the wrong job here. So the men had to dig through this ground cover, but there was a downspout ran. Now look at that. Look close at that pipe. It has holes in it. It's the wrong pipe. You never use a pipe with holes in it up at the house like that. That's insane. That thing is losing water right at the foundation of the house. That was a French drain pipe. It was never meant for downspouts. Drives me crazy. I see it all the time. People go into Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, wherever, and they just grab a roll of corrugated pipe and walk out with it without a second thought. Never use corrugated pipe with holes in it up at the house. Any kind of pipe with holes in it. So luckily for this homeowner, the damage to the structure has been minimum. We're going to fix this before anything further can happen to deteriorate the foundation of this home. Now, we don't know what the rough lumber looks like behind the brick veneer. We don't. It could be mold, it could be mildew, but we're going to stop it right now. Now I'm going to show you another thing. Drives me crazy. They tried to put in a French drain, one of the landscape companies that they had in here. So we're digging through a drain. This is something that we run into. I mean, probably half our jobs, we're digging out old systems. So people already spent money once. Now they got to spend it again to have us come and do it. This is that old saying. You know, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Use good quality materials. Use a good company. So look, it's full of dirt. It's thin. I mean, it is absolute trash, and it's literally made out of trash. This is a recycled pipe. Our pipes aren't recycled. It's virgin material. This is, you know, your shampoo bottles, your food containers, all ground up, and then a bunch of additives are thrown in there with a little bit of virgin, just a teeny little bit of virgin material, and it adheres together. Well, the voles and the moles love chewing on this. It's something about the additives, and it's really rubbery, and they just love it. So mice, rats, you name it, they chew on this. We see it full of holes all the time. The virgin tile, that's not going to happen. The other thing is, notice how there is a sock on the pipe. So what happened was all the stone clogged full of dirt. We wrapped the whole trench with fabric. We don't do this. Now, there's a use for sock, don't get me wrong. And there's times where we'll use a sock. Sometimes it'll be redundant. We'll have everything lined in fabric, and then we'll also have a sock on our pipe, depending on what we're trying to do, the type of pipe we're using. But I'm telling you, if you just take a perforated pipe with a sock, dig a trench, put this in, and then fill the trench with stone and cover it up, the dirt's going to migrate into the stone, and that's where all the water travels, through the voids between the stone. If it's not permeable, the water can't make it to the pipe. So you don't want to do this. I see this all the time. What a waste of money, energy. It's sad. Too many homeowners throw too much money away before finally getting French Drain Man to do their job. All right, so right here you got little remnants of drain stone. Not a lot, but they put stone in around the pipe. Well, there's so many things done wrong here. The pipe's too shallow. There was not enough stone used. There wasn't fabric to prevent the dirt from migrating into the stone. And look what you got. The stone is full of dirt. Look at that. So you're not going to move water through the voids of the stone when it's full of dirt. The voids are all full of dirt. So we see this all the time. We've been preaching. We've been on YouTube for 10 years now, showing you guys how to build drains the right way. We're trying to make a difference here in the industry. The guys are going to run 3.5-inch pipe through this landscape. It's easier to work with than 4-inch pipe. Until we get multiple downspouts on a line, we don't need to go to 4-inch pipe. This is a long run, and it will have a 4-inch main. Right here, we have a 2x3. The guys worked with those 90s to get our leaf filter to fit. Now, notice how Juan has this so high. This is textbook right here. He's going to backfill this with some dirt, but look at how high this is. Think about that. He didn't dig a deep trench and then set the pipe down in a deep trench. It's a very shallow trench. Heck, the not quite a 90 fitting is going to be sticking up out of the dirt. Why did he do that? Because he wants slope away from the house. If you dig down too deep, you kill all your slope. You want to create slope. Maybe you don't have any slope. Right here, this is how you make some slope.
So this guy's going 4-inch, connecting to the 4. These two,
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
4 right there.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Beautiful. These guys, I didn't have to tell these guys what to do. They know what to do. So this is 3.5 too. It's going to be a lot easier to get it under the sidewalk. They're doing a great job right now. Beautiful. So right here, you see this long gutter run? This is a ridiculous gutter run. Look at this gutter on 3 sides, and look at all the roof. The rooftop, you have to look at the rooftop. How much rooftop are these gutters right here responsible for? We want a 4-inch pipe right here. We don't want a 3.5. We want to go 4. We know there's going to be a lot of water. That's a 2x3. It's going to be maxed out. This is going to be a super long run all the way to the storm drain. Anytime you have a long run, I don't care if it's smooth bottom pipe, I don't care if it's corrugated pipe, it don't matter. The longer the run, the slower the water becomes. You have good velocity off the roof, it falls off the roof, picks up a lot of velocity. You get about 1 pound, per square inch. Everything's working great at the beginning, but the longer the run goes, the more energy you lose. And eventually that water flow slows down. Now, if it's going to rain for 3 hours straight, you're going to get 4 inches. It's going to be coming down like mad. You want to make sure for those long extended thunderstorms that you have a pipe that can handle all that water in cases like this, where you have a long run and it could back up. It could essentially back up. So you want a pipe that's going to displace a little more area, which the 4-inch pipe most definitely does that. We're not going to have any issues. We're never going to lose water here at the leaf filter. Now, another trick I want to talk about, I have a lot of homeowners, they put their leaf filter a little too low, and then the water comes out the vent. You just have to raise the riser. You see the riser the guys have right here? So this riser, if you had this leaf filter down here, yeah, you could lose water at the vent. All you got to do is raise the riser. You'll create head pressure, and the thing will work amazing. And that goes for everybody, and I don't care what size pipe. You raise this leaf filter. I got guys in Florida putting the leaf filter right here because they got this crazy long run and they need the head pressure. So that's a little trick how we manipulate the water. All right, here's another example of a downspout where the not quite a 90 is really high. You can see it's very shallow here. They went underneath that sprinkler line. They went to a catch basin. Now, during your dig, go ahead and dig the sump hole for your catch basin. So this catch basin is directional. It's male to female. The pipe is the acting male. This is the female coupler right here. So that's how this is going to get hooked up. Then on the other end, the coupler becomes the acting male and the pipe becomes the acting female. Male to female with the direction of flow. Dig your sump out. Dig it out while you're digging out the trench. There's a big hole. Make sure that hole's so deep that this levitates. You want that pipe to be flat on the bottom of the trench, and you want this to be hollow. You want it to be hollow because you're going to pour stone down the side of this catch basin and it's going to roll under it. Now, we like to drill holes. The men already drilled the holes. You can see how they drilled some holes. There's guides here to keep it really simple and keep it really easy. And these guides also help when it sets on the stone. There's some little air pockets under here. That's so that we have void for water movement. There's been so much thought put in this catch basin, it's ridiculous. There's no catch basin like this on the market. This is going to be one of our 4-inch with a solid cover. We'll have a turf plate. In here, I already know the guys are going to use a black turf plate because it gets lost in the landscape. And then when it's out in the grass, it's a green turf plate. All right, right here, when we Y this together, we now have a Y that just came out literally last week. This is a male to female Y. You can see we're going to have this line come in here. We're going to have this line come in here. The pipe is the acting male. Right here, the hub is the acting female. Then we needed a Y that had a hub that was male. Right here, male to female with the direction of flow. Our entire system is male to female now. Not everybody is this lucky, but when we can find a storm drain, we make good use of it. The French drain was already being ran to the storm drain. So that's why it was really, for us, something that we didn't even have to think about when it comes to tying in the downspouts, the roof runoff system, into the storm drain too. Now, normally we just take these downspouts to a pop-up, and that would be enough. It would cost too much to run a whole house roof runoff to the storm drain. But since we're already opening up all this trench for a French drain, let's make the most of the homeowner's dollars. They already paid us to do this. Let's drop in the roof runoff system too. So we're going to have trouble keeping these in stock. These are our pipe clips. Our 4-inch pipe clips just came out. We can't keep them in stock. We got another PO. We're running a bunch of them. So here's how we do things at French Drain Man. We run our parts all winter long so that we can keep up with spring and summer sales. These just came out midsummer. So we probably won't be caught up until wintertime when we're running them the entire winter. So I'm just letting everybody know right now they're back in stock. But if this is something that you want for your project and you see they're in stock, grab them because they go quick. This is a really good example of a downspout that's going to be a lot easier to run in 3.5-inch pipe. Right here, we got a 2x3. It's on a real long gutter running. It's maxed out. I'm not worried about it because the 3.5-inch pipe will flow 52 gallons per minute on a 1% slope. That's screaming. I'm real happy with those numbers. We're going to be able to get that 3.5-inch pipe underneath those 3 sprinkler mains, and then we'll hook up to our catch basin. At that point, we can then come out the other side of the catch basin to a 4-inch. We'll show you how we do that, and we'll hook it up to a 4-inch main. All right, so how did I end up making this pop up the way it's designed? All the pop-ups on the market, and I do mean all of them, are tiny, and the grass grows over them in a minute. You could have the very best roof runoff system. You could spend stupid money having the pros come in and doing everything high end. And then this is how you discharge the water to this little pop-up. I hated it. My whole career, I had to deal with it. People would call me and say my systems failed. Their basement flooded. I'd come out there, you couldn't even find these anywhere. So we started putting in catch basins instead of pop-ups. Now the problem was homeowners were telling me there was a lot of mosquitoes always coming in and out of their catch basins. They were breeding. It became a mosquito hatchery. And that was another issue that we had to deal with. So I knew that the pop-up was the best way to discharge water because it closes and mosquitoes can't get in and breed. But we had to perfect the pop-up. So we reinvented the pop-up. What we did is we put a turf plate so the grass can grow on the plate and you can just weed whip it off with your weed whip. We got this giant inlet instead of this tiny little. Here, this is what happens. A leaf tries to come out of here and it just clogs it. It gets clogged full of tree buds, leaves, twigs, whatever. This thing, when you guys see me get frustrated and I call things garbage, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because the person who came up with this was genius. It keeps the mosquitoes from going inside your pipe and breeding. So I love the pop-up. I love the idea of the pop-up, but we had to perfect the pop-up. Now you can get your hand in it, which is great. Super easy to service. We got a turf plate. And instead of having a little pop-up that keeps breaking every time the lawnmowers drive over it, this one, we've driven trucks with Duramax diesels and we can't break it. There's 10 times the material in our pop-up, literally 10 times, maybe more. And my pop-up's not 10 times the price. You know, our pop-up is about twice the cost of that little thing, but the lawnmowers are going to break it. It's going to fail. Your basement's going to flood. You're going to lose family heirlooms for what? So problem solution. That's what French Drain Man has been about from the very beginning. When the men put catch basins in the landscape, they use this black cover. And we use the solid plug for catch basins. That way we don't have mosquitoes flying in and out of them. Right here, we have a catch basin. It's behind the grass. You're not going to really see it, but you can still come around and get to it. You only need to shop vac it out once every couple of years. It's so much easier to install the 3.5-inch pipe when you have all these plants and trees to go around, all these obstacles. The 4-inch pipe's a beast, and it's really hard to maneuver through obstacles. So we're using the 3.5 through all the landscapes. We're going to go to a 4-inch main. We'll show you all the connection points on the 4-inch main. All right, so right now we don't have the catch basin taped. I want to show you what the guys did. We got male to female, and then we got male to female with the direction of flow. We dug a really deep sump. We put the pipe to the bottom of the trench, and the catch basin is levitating. It's not touching the dirt. There's a little bit of air under the catch basin. We're going to pour stone around this catch basin and it's going to roll under it. When you do that, do not do this because stone will get under it and then your catch basin will be too high. Keep it all the way down. You want the pipe on the trench, always, or you lose that perfect slope that you work so hard for. Yeah, when we have to do a sprinkler line because there's just no way around it, if you dig too deep, you'll create a belly. And right there, all the sediment will get caught in the pipe, and that's where it'll clog. So this sprinkler line was just the worst possible location. We couldn't go over it or under it. Right now, Cal is redoing these sprinkler lines so that we can route them up and over our roof runoff pipe. This is going to be a 3.5-inch pipe off a 2x3 downspout. We're going to tie it into a 4-inch main. So right now, Juan's putting one of our new 4-inch male to female Ys together. Everything that we make, quick connect. Juan's going to connect that to the catch basin, snaps together quick, fast, easy, no issues. That quick. DIYers can be guaranteed if they buy French Drainman products and kits to where once they have their trench dug, everything's going to go together so fast, so easy. It's adult Legos. People give us 5-star reviews and say it was the easiest product to use, along with the informative videos and the support that they have, because we do have a really good support team. You can talk on the phone or you can do an online chat with our support team. Right now, we're putting this 4-inch Y in. We're Ying in this downspout pipe to the main line. And we want to use our male to female in this case so that we're correct. The plumbers love this, male to female with the direction of flow. I've been getting my chops busted by all the plumbers in the comments section, you know, because corrugated fittings are not male to female typically, but we're improving yard drainage one part at a time. All right, so this piece of pipe, this was a full roll, but now we're down to this piece of pipe. It would not make it from our 4-inch Y all the way to another 4-inch Y where we're going to tie into the main line. That's the trench for the French drain. And we're going to have also a main for this roof runoff system. We're going to have 2 4-inch solid pipes on top of 2 4-inch perforated pipes. This will be a quad pack. So what Juan did is he went and got another 100-foot roll so that we could make a connection to the Y and then go all the way and make another connection to the Y without having to splice pipe together. There's a lot of big trees in these neighborhoods. There's a lot of landscape. These roots, you can see the roots that you run into when you're digging. They're there. This is the one way you guarantee tree roots and shrub roots are not going to find their way into your system. One piece of pipe from the fitting to fitting. Doesn't get any better than that. So you can see how we have one piece of pipe from the downspout to the catch basin. That's just one piece of pipe. Then from the catch basin all the way to this Y, that's another piece of pipe. From the Y all the way to the French drain trench, where we're going to have a quad pack, one piece of pipe. You cannot do this with any other pipe other than corrugated pipe. This is the only pipe that unrolls in 100 foot, 250 foot, and bigger. You can order whatever you want, but we can have one continuous run that tree roots can't penetrate. Nothing can come apart in the freeze and thaw cycle. This is foolproof. This is the only foolproof drainage system that you could assemble. Now, if you use PVC pipe, you got glue joints. Like right here, you got 3 glue joints on PVC. This would be a PVC system. You'd have glue on all 3 hubs. Then you'd run 10 feet glue, 10 feet glue. And then if you have a lot of drop in the grade, now you got to add a 22-degree fitting for that drop. Then you go again for, however many feet, glue, glue, glue. These glue joints are not elastic. This pipe is very elastic, very pliable. It can move. As the ground shrinks from drought and as it swells from the rain season, this system can move with the dirt. PVC glue joints are hard. They're not elastic. So when the ground shifts and moves, they crack. Now the trees and the shrubs are going to find their way into your system. When they fill full of roots, they're all done. You're going to have a flood. And what happens with the roof runoff system, the water pours over the gutter trough down right by the foundation of the house, and now you're getting water in your basement. That's what happens with a roof runoff system. So when the roots clog the line and the water can no longer come off the roof, you're going to find yourself with this cascading effect during a hard rain. You're going to see your gutter fill up all the way, and it just pours over and cascades right along the foundation of the house, guaranteed to flood your basement every time. So our perforated 8-slot on site is our new formula. Our solid, both 4-inch and 3.5 new formula. My guys love the new formula. That's primarily all we use anymore. They do grab some of the old formula here and there, but for the most part, this is what they love to use. It's so flexible. Now, these are some of the shorter pieces. You know, I was talking earlier about how you start out with a 100-foot coil and then you end up with some scraps. Well, these are perfect for a downspout because you just need a little run from the downspout to the catch basin. Then you need another small run from the catch basin to where we're winding it into the main. So we're going to use these smaller sections in the areas in the yard drain system that don't require big, long runs. So when you're laying out your system, always start with your big, long runs first, and then you'll use all your small pieces later on. Everything is sealed up with our tape. Now our tape, this is drain tape. It lasts 200 years. It's super stretchy, super sticky. You could see all the connections. Look at how it sucks to the shape of the fitting, the shape of the pipe. I mean, just really nice tape connections. You have to do this. This is the only place that roots can find their way into your system is at the connection points. You can lose water at the connection points as well. So I encourage that you use our super stretchy, super sticky. It works in the winter. It works in the rain, wet, dry, it don't matter. This stuff, I think we have the best tape on the market, to be honest with you. I've never had anything better, never seen anything better. And this is what we've been using for years now. All right, so this right here is a real nice tape joint. It's sucked right to the shape of the fitting. So the pipe and the fitting are taped, and where the fitting meets the catch basin, it's sealed. You want it to be sealed here, and you want it to be sealed here. This is beautiful right here. Real nice connections. And you can see how that tape just stretches to the shape, and it's super sticky. I mean, it's not coming off. And this is rated to last 200 years. So we abandon all the old. We are not going to dig all this old pipe out of this landscape. We're not going to unearth it and disturb all this beautiful landscape. That Pachysandra, that is really nice ground cover. It takes years for it to get full like that. This is an older home in a beautiful neighborhood. So what we do is we put an end plug in the end. We cut it off, you know, below grade, and then we cap it. And that's it. Just who cares? Just leave it. Don't try to dig that up. It's pointless. You're going to disturb everything, make a bunch of work for yourself, and it's not needed. It's not necessary. It won't hurt a thing. Cale's trimming down an end plug that he snapped into the piece of pipe that we abandoned, and we're going to set the not quite a 90 right on top of it. This is going to be our pro kit. If this was an easy DIY, the pipe would just bend up and connect right to the downspout with our leaf filter, but we want a 4-inch dual wall riser on this, and we want it with a not quite a 90. That's what makes our pro kit the pro kit. All right, Dirk took the blower. He cleaned off all these ground protection mats. He blew all the dirt out of the grass. When you're digging with an excavator and you're dumping it in a mini loader, there's a lot of little, like dirt crumbs, if you will, just little bits of dirt that just fall in excavation. This is the fastest way to do this. Now we can put fabric in the trench. We can put all the plumbing in the trench. And look, the cleanup's already done. The site's already clean. When this is done, we could just pull up all these ground protection mats, and that's it. The cleanup's been done, but it's been done the easy way. Now, if you put everything in, where are you going to blow the dirt? Right now, you got a dirt trench, a big dirt trench that you can blow all the dirt in. All right, so in this trench, take a look at all the roots. We'll run the camera through this trench to show all the ground cover roots. You cannot have a catch basin in that ground cover. We had to design the system to where we're going to hook it up at the downspout and have one piece of pipe. The roots will not be able to get in it. If it was PVC, it'll end up rooting into the pipe at every glue joint. That's what it looks like several years from now, and it'll fail. We're going to have one piece of pipe run through all those roots. They can't penetrate it. There's no seams. And then we're going to connect it to the catch basin out here in the grass. We're going to get out of that Pachysandra. We're going to get out of that invasive ground cover. So notice how Cale has one piece of pipe. This is 3.5 inch. We're running this 3.5 inch. We're able to go underneath that sprinkler line. We snake it right through the landscape bed. Really easy. Cal's hooking it up to the not quite a 90. We'll have a riser with a leaf filter. He's going to tape it up so that the roots cannot get in it. So right now, Cal's going to tape up both ends of the not quite a 90. You do not have to tape the riser on the Pro Kit that goes to the leaf filter. That'll just set in the riser, no tape. You don't need it, it's unsightly. But both sides of not quite a 90, seal it up really good. You don't want water leaking at the foundation of the house here. You don't want this pachysandra, this ground cover, all these landscape plants rooting into your downspout system. One day it's going to fail you and you're going to end up with a basement flood. So many landscapers fail to meet these details. These little details, like run one piece of pipe all the way to the catch basin. Well, heck, most of them don't even use a catch basin for the shingle gravel, so they just build up with shingle gravel and plug one day. We're taking every precaution so that this line never fails. We're going to be able to clean this out in the fall when the leaves are falling every time it rains. Now, people say, how many times do I clean it a year? Well, don't clean it every week. Don't worry about it. Wait for a good rain. A good rain's going to bring the leaves down. You'll open it up and you're going to see all the leaves. Just clean them out. Probably only 3 or 4 times a year is all you clean this leaf filter out. So it's not that big a burden. It's not that much to even ask of your lawn crew if you want to put it on them, if you have a reliable lawn crew that you can count on. So all this water is going to go to our main line. It's going to go all the way down the side of the house, down the front of the house, to the storm drain in the street. We're grabbing up every drop of water and we're not letting it go. I see guys all the time put catch basins under these downspouts. They'll put a catch basin with a pipe on it and the water drops. Why would you do that? Why would you let the water go? You already have it contained and caught. Now it's splashing up on the house. You got mold, mildew spores, algae growing. I don't get it. I don't know why. Laziness, because this may take just a little more effort. But you want to grab it right at the downspout. You got that water caught, keep it caught. So the 3.5-inch pipe allows us to go under all the sprinkler mains. We did have to reroute some of those, but we're already so close to the surface. You don't want those lines to end up surfacing. And we want to keep as much slope on the line as we can. If we would have went to a 4-inch pipe, we would have dug down deeper and we would have lost a lot of our slope. We're up nice and high. We got good slope down to this main line. We're running this branch line to this trunk line, and everything has to maintain slope. What I love is how you could see the trench gets deeper as we wrap the house, and the evidence in that, look at how shallow this trench is. It literally drops down into the main trunk line. Every detail is met, and this is not that hard to do. 1% slope from the downspout to here, 1% slope from the backyard all the way around the house. Yeah, we got kind of deep over here, but when you start to go towards the front yard, there's some natural slope to the grade, so you're not digging as deep anymore, and you're still maintaining consistent slope. This is normal. When we lay out a drain, we take a look at the yard and we see what the yard has to offer. Every yard gives you something to work with. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's unique to every house. Check this out. This is really cool. 3.5 from the downspout to the catch basin. Then they put a 4-inch coupler on the catch basin, so we go with a 4-inch line after that. My men do this all the time. Our catch basins are awesome for that. You can come in with a 3.5 and leave with a 4, any kind of combination. We got couplers for 3-inch, 3.5, and 4-inch. All right, so these are the cleanouts for our French drain. The 2 bottom pipes of this quad pack are going to be perforated pipes for the French drain. Your perforated pipes always go on the bottom of the trench, and then you put your solid pipes on top of those. This is a cleanout. Yes, it looks like our pop-up because it basically is. Instead, we use the solid plug that we use in our catch basin so it doesn't have the lid that flaps up. If this homeowner calls us 5 years from now and says, my system doesn't seem to be working as well, we can come to this cleanout, pop this solid cover, run a camera through here, scope it. If we need to, we can jet it. Now we have access to the French drain system. Now, we also put a clean out on the other pipe, but we only need one turf plate. As soon as we locate the clean outs, we know they're both there. For all the catch basins, they're all done the same. Cal used our 4-ounce non-woven geotextile filter fabric that's been double punched. It's our drain fabric. And our 4-ounce fabric is a lot heavier than the Amazon fabric and the Home Depot fabric. The fabric world is an interesting world. Nobody's regulating it. It's obvious. Our 4-ounce is like an 8-ounce if you're comparing it to those Amazon 4-ounce fabrics. It's heavy. He put that under the catch basin. Then he poured pea gravel to roll down the catch basin and under the catch basin. Now there's a pocket of pea gravel between the fabric and the catch basin. The pea gravel will leach water forever if you do this. If you don't do this, the dirt's going to migrate in the voids of the pea stone, and you're not going to be able to leach out all the water that's in your catch basin. So that's why we go to this great length to do this. This is going to perform really well. Now, don't worry. If there's water in your catch basin and it freezes in the winter, don't worry. It's going to work, and let me explain. The bottom can freeze. The top will never freeze. The top of our catch basin mimics the pipe, and we got 1% slope, so there's never water in it. It always runs out. So when we have a thaw, your catch basin and your system is ready and waiting. I want you guys to take note that there's dirt alongside of the trench that has just a downspout line. That's because that dirt goes back in. Now, do you see any dirt on the side of the trench that's going to be for a French drain? There's no dirt piled up on either side of our trench. All you guys on YouTube saying never put the dirt back in and even use my voice, and you have that dirt alongside your trench, you guys got caught in your own lie. No fool would dump dirt to the side of a trench to later try to scoop it out of the grass and haul it away. You dig the dirt out, you put it in a wheelbarrow, you put it in a mini loader, something, and you haul it where it needs to be, whether that's a dump trailer or you're going to relocate it on site. But you never put the dirt off to the side of a French drain, because none of the dirt should go back in. It should all be pipe and stone. So we cut a utility. It wasn't marked. It was marked, but it's 12 feet off from the markings. This is normal. Unfortunately, it happens too often. They don't have good, consistent help when it comes to marking these utilities. There's a high turnover rate. So when people come to market, they don't have the skill set to do it proper. It's probably trillions of dollars for all of our infrastructure in the country for utilities. Yet we're sending inexperienced people out in the field to mark them. And I hate having to splice utilities together. It's far better before they're spliced. When you have splices, things can happen. You know, we seal them up the best we can, but who knows down the road what might happen. You know, we understand that there has to be like a couple feet on either side of the marking. We're good with that. We're going to always dig very careful several feet off of the markings. But when you're 12 feet away from the marking, you think you're safe to dig. Now, fiber optics are really costly. The last one that they tried to bill me for, and I did get an attorney and I did fight it, and it always ends up being half, and then you pay your attorney and you end up paying the same amount anyway. So you're better off just representing yourself, and a lot of times you can negotiate it down to half, but they billed me $7,500 for a cut utility that wasn't marked. We got fiber optics through here, and we got to hand dig through this. The ground is so hard right now. This is late July. This ground is like concrete. And we got to just be really careful, really smart, and we got to look for this fiber optic cable. Hopefully, we never see it. Hopefully, we get this trench dug, and we just run all of our plumbing, and we're done. But fiber optics, that's an expensive one. You don't want to cut that one. That one's going to cost you some money if you cut that one. We got all these kits for all these different cables. You have to. You have to try to do all the repairs that you can. That wasn't marked.
No, it wasn't.
There's a possibility that it was abandoned and it was replaced by the fiber optics, but you just never know. We run into this all the time. I'd rather repair it now, and then nobody's coming home from work saying they don't have internet or cable. Now you have a problem on your hands. Now you got to open up your system. While we have this trench opened up, we'll take care of the repair now. Right here down the side of the house, we have a quad pack. We put a third perforated pipe in. So there's only one solid pipe on top right now. Do that. Buy some extra perforated pipe and just add that. The pipe is more void than the stone is. You want more air. We're extremely shallow with 2 pipes. We start out 2 pipes. We pick up the third pipe, which is roof runoff. You can see how the system starts out with cleanouts. We got 2 perforated pipes on the bottom. Look, we add the 4th pipe. What is it? The 4th pipe is perforated pipe. It's going to take the place of stone. It's going to create more void than stone. Always put more pipe in the trench. More pipe, the better the French drain. This is a beautiful example of a quad pack. This is one of the most important parts of a French drain. And it's probably the part that's the most misunderstood, the fabric. There's always been a big debate. Do you want to use the fabric? Do you not want to use the fabric? Does it clog? Does it not clog? I'm going to end all debates and talk about the fabric right now. If you do not have the fabric, your system fails in 2 years, or it'll at least start working less in 2 years, noticeably. And it'll keep working less and less until it's clogged and it doesn't work at all. The fabric allows sediment to wash through. So that's a big misconception. People are telling me, man, your fabric, like sediment comes through. It's supposed to. If it didn't wash through, it would plug the fabric. What gets caught on the fabric are the soil granulars. So as the sediment's washing through, you're building what's known as the soil filter zone. It's a bunch of granulars and it's just little tiny stones. It works better and better. As the years go by, this drain will work better. The day we install it is not the day that it's going to work its best. 2 years from now, when you have that stone filter zone really established on the outside of the fabric, this thing's going to scream. Now the men lined the entire trench. This is a 5-foot piece of fabric. We use a 5-foot fabric when we're doing quad packs or working with 4-inch pipe in general. We always do double. We're always 2 pipes wide. And we're going to pick up all these downspouts. Eventually, we're going to end up on a quad pack here. Always stand on the pipe when you're pushing the dirt back in on your downspout lines. These are solid downspout lines, and we backfill them with the original dirt that we excavated out of the trench. Now, the guys already cleaned the bottom of this trench. They cleaned it twice. They cleaned it on the initial dig, and then before they backfilled it, they went ahead and cleaned anything that may have fell in. Just them walking back and forth, connecting the downspouts, pulling pipe over the dirt, things like that. You end up with dirt that falls back into the trench. They cleaned it really nice. They got that nice flat bottom, and then they stand on the pipe and push the dirt on it. If you don't, what'll happen is the dirt will push the pipe up out of the way. The dirt will go under the pipe, and now you have, like, the pipe is rolling. It'll form a belly, and all the sediment gets caught in the belly, and that's where your line's going to clog one day. So the men are installing a quad pack. These are the 2 bottom pipes. They're using the clips so that they're nice and straight. They're keeping them together. You want to have all the plumbing straight. Every time the pipe, jogs, turns, it slows down the flow of water. So if we can keep these nice and straight, we're going to keep up the velocity. Our system's going to move more water quicker. These pipe clips also help us when we backfill with stone. When you dump stone in a French drain, it just tries to push these pipes all over the place. When they're connected together, they're very sound. All that work when you dig out the dirt, all that work for that perfect flat bottom trench is lost if you don't do something like this. We've never had these clips until this year. These 4-inch clips just came out. We developed them. Took a couple years to get them to where they're at, believe it or not. But now that we have them, we don't know how we did without them, to be honest. We'd always have 6 guys on shovels with their boots and their shovel trying to hold all the pipe in place while we were dumping stone on it. You can see how fast these clips go. Guys were using big zip ties before this. Professionals, that knew how important it was to keep the plumbing correct. I can't say enough good about these clips. They're very affordable. And that was another thing. By design, they had to be something that was affordable. We had to bring something to the DIYer and the contractor that had a lot of value. You can see that the men ran 2 100-foot pieces of 8 slot. This is our new formula. All the pipe you see is our new formula. The new formula has a larger inside diameter in the 4-inch. It's unbelievable how much water we can flow. This pipe is ideal for Florida, Louisiana, anybody who sees tropical storms. We got a lot of water here. It's coming off of neighboring properties. and we want to make sure that we have a system that can handle all that water. Now we got the cleanouts installed. You can see the cleanouts. Don't overthink this. This is all you do right here. Now you'll always have access to that system. If you just want to run a garden hose because it makes you feel good, you just want to see that it works, you can push your garden hose through and flush some sediment out after it's a couple years old. It's super easy. Homeowners that put our systems in, they take so much pride and joy in it because they're so easy to service and get inside that they do these things. Why not? You put the time into it. You bought all the good quality components to do it right, but it's real easy to service this, and for peace of mind, just run a garden hose right through the whole system. The men just built a quad pack manifold that goes to a 6-inch main. The Y and the 45 that are on the perforated pipe to the right, that's for the French drain. Then over here, these are going to be the 2 4-inch solid pipes for the roof runoff system. It goes into a 6-inch main. We did a 6-inch core into the city storm drain, dug under the curb and cored right through the side of the storm drain catch basin. All right, the guys are putting clips on these 4 pipes. We got a quad pack here. We're going to clip it from the side. We're going to clip it from the top. We already clipped all the bottom pipes. So right here is a manifold. It's a 6-inch manifold to a city storm drain. We're going to use hydraulic concrete. This is an old storm drain. It's falling apart. It's been fighting us the whole way. We did a really nice core, did the best we could. It's going to be stronger when we leave here than it was when we came here because of all the hydraulic concrete we're going to end up using to fix the city storm drain. We got this really nice manifold. We got a quad pack of 4-inch pipes. You can see with the 45s and the Ys, we have 3 45s. We have 3 Ys. We got 2 4-inch Ys and 1 6-inch Y when we get it to the 6-inch main. Always do this. Always take a 6-inch Y when you're taking a quad pack. Now you can take 2 pipes with a Y and a 45, tie them into 1 hub. And the same thing, our French drain over here, we have 2 pipes that come together and we tie it into that hub. We do not have to tape the perforated pipe, so that's why there's no tape over here. That's the French drain. We want it to take in water right up to the city storm drain, right up to the curb. Right here, these are the 2 solid pipes for the roof runoff. One's for the front yard, one's for the side of the house and the backyard. This is a whole house roof runoff system in a French drain system. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up. It shows me that you really appreciate the time and energy and effort that we're putting forward in making these videos. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.